Welcome my dear students of 4th primary. Now, if I asked you لو سألتك how to distribute 15 oranges equally among 5 of your friends, it would be very easy that each would take 3 oranges. That's why, because 5 multiplied by 3 gives me 15. Alright, but طيب لو سألتك if I want to distribute it among 4 friends, لو عايزة أقسم 15 among 4 friends, will you be able to do that equally? Each one will take equal. If you wrote this in the form of an equation, what do you imagine it would look like? This is what we will learn in today's lesson, lesson 10 in unit 7, exploring remainders. In this lesson, we will explore concepts in division. That includes the dividend, divisor, and quotient. We will also explore the meaning of remainders that we will face while solving the problems. Let's start by reviewing our knowledge of the relationship between, تعالوا نعرف relationship between multiplication and division by reading the problems found on Access on page 299 in your school books. Let's see it all together. Now in the Access part, as you see here, I will give you some time to read problems number 1 and 2 and try to solve them. And also note any similarities found between the problems. أي حاجة شبه بعض, I will circle them. And any differences by underlining them. Underline the difference and circle the similarities. We will review together after you have finished solving. And now after reading the problems, let's see how we are supposed to answer them and what are the similarities and difference between the two problems. Now let's see problem number 1. Problem number 1 here, it says that there are 8 teams playing soccer. There are 9 students on each team. في 9 students in each team. طيب السؤال بيقول لي إيه؟ How many students are there in all? Okay. To find the total number of students, I will surely repeat 9 8 times. I repeat 9 8 times. So I will multiply 8 by 9. So 8 times 9 gives me what? From the timetable, I know that 8 times 9 gives me 72, right? Okay. Now, let's move to problem number 2. Problem number 2 بيقول لي إيه؟ Says that there are 72 students on the field. 72 on the field. They want to make teams with 9 students on each team. Each team عايزين يبقى فيه 9 students. السؤال بيقول لي إيه؟ How many teams will they be able to make? هيعملوا كام team؟ Okay. To find the number of teams, هعمل إيه؟ Yes, I will divide the whole number or 72 divided by 9. In the division problem, we learned in problem 3. يبقى هعمل 72 divided by 9. Okay. From knowing that 8 times 9 هي مش 8 times 9 equals 72. لسه قايلين 8 times 9 equals 72. So if I divide 72 divided by 9, the answer is 8 teams. Okay? That's because what? Because division and multiplication are two reversed operations. عكس بعض division والmultiplication. Now we will do the same in problem number 3 found on page 300. تعالوا كده نشوفها مع بعض. This is problem number 3 as you see here. It says that there are 72 students on the field. عندي 72 students on the field. They want to distribute, عايزة أوزعهم into 8 teams. Okay? Split them or divide them into 8 teams. طيب عشان divide 72 equally between 8 teams إيه اللي هعمله؟ Of course I will divide the big number اللي هو 72 divided by 8. تعالوا نكتبها كده يبقى 72 divided by 8. طيب مش احنا لسه قايلين ان 9 times 8 gives me 72. So if I divide 72 divided by 8, the answer will be of course 9. So 9 students will be on each team. And now after we have identified the ways to solve the 3 problems, let's answer problem number 4. تعالوا نشوف بقى problem number 4 بتقول لي إيه. Problem number 4 here, we are asked to identify the similarities or الحاجات ال unlike each other والحاجات ال different between the 3 problems. I am sure you have noticed, أنا متأكدة إن كلكم لاحظتوا that the number of teams in all 3 problems is 8 teams, right? يبقى في ال 3 problems أنا عندي 8 teams. دي similarities ما بينهم. وإيه كمان؟ طيب that the number of players 72 students. يبقى كل ال students كانوا 72 students. طيب وإيه كمان كان similarities between these 3 problems? Yes, each team has 9 players. يبقى كان في each team 9 players. الثلاث حاجات اللي أنا كاتباهم دول إيه؟ similarity أو الحاجات اللي unlike each other. الحاجات الموجودة في ال 3 problems like each other. طب تعالوا نشوف إيه الاختلاف بقى أو إيه ال difference between the 3 problems. The difference. What do you notice? The difference is what? Yes, the difference الوحيد between the 3 problems is the way of solving the problems. يبقى ال difference the way of solving. الحاجة الوحيدة مختلفة إن هو حلهم بطرق مختلفة. طيب the way of solving differed depending on what was asked in each problem. In problem 1 استخدمنا إيه؟ استخدمنا ال multiplication, while in problem 2 و 3 استخدمنا ال division to solve them. From the last example, we have known that in order to learn division easily, we will use the multiplication facts, اللي هو ال timetable we have learned before. This is because they are related operations as we can see in the last example. طيب, the example showed us that division is one of the important operations we could deal with in many real-life situations. Not only this, but the numbers found in division problems have terms and concepts. Now let's explore the concept of division from this example found in build part in the activity what is left. This is the build part. On page 300 in your school book on the same page as you see. طيب, now don't forget you can solve the problems using more than one way. دايما بنستخدم أكتر من طريقة عشان نحل any problem. ممكن نستخدم ال drawing or picture or writing an equation. طيب, تعالوا نشوف بقى البروبلم بتقول لي إيه. The problem says that Selim brought 15 pies to give it to 4 of his friends equally. Okay? Now, let's write the problem all together. طيب, لو سليم is going to distribute هيوزع, this means that إيه؟ The problem is division. Distribute means division. Okay? طيب, so I will make 15 divided by 4. In the division, I must start with the biggest number. So my equation is 15, the biggest number, divided by 4. I want to divide or distribute 15 among 4 persons. Okay, here the number distributed or divided in this problem is called what? Dividend. It's called dividend. تعالوا نكتبها كده, يبقى 15 is the dividend. Okay. It is represented here by the number 15 زي ما احنا شايفين. طيب, the number that is used to divide by is called what? It is called the divisor, which is 4. يبقى 4 اسمها ايه؟ اسمها the divisor. Okay, however the division answer, الريزلت بتاعي أو الانسر بتاعي بقى اسمه إيه؟ اسمه الكوشنت. اسمه الكوشنت. الانسر بتاعي اسمه الكوشنت. So تعالوا كده نحاول نعمل 15 divided by 4 ونشوف الانسر هيبقى إيه؟ طيب, to solve the problem we need to find number when I multiplied by 4 gives me 15. يعني ask yourself 4 times what gives me 15. اوكي, او بطريقه تانية عايزه اعرف multiple of 4 يبقى that is 15. طب تعالوا كده نفكر مع بعض about the multiples of 4. تعالوا كده نفتكر مع بعض multiples of 4. طيب, multiples of 4 تعالوا نفتكرها من ال multiplication fact. هنلاقي multiples of 4 ايه؟ تعالوا نكتبها كده. multiples of 4 يعني moving by 4 او skip counting by 4. يعني عندي 4 8 12 16 كل مرة بعمل skip counting by 4. وكمان other numbers. طيب هو احنا هنا في حد شاف number 15؟ No, I can't find number 15. So what should we do؟ هنعمل ايه؟ Yes, هنشوف number when multiplied by 4 give us number قريب قوي من 15 بس لازم يكون less than 15. ما ينفعش اختار number bigger than 15. طيب يبقى أنا بشوف أقرب number multiple of 4 ولازم يكون less than 15. Okay, so what number I will choose here? 4 ولا 8 ولا 12 ولا 16? Okay, of course the multiple is 12 because 12 multiple of 4 وفي نفس الوقت it is smaller than 15. So ask yourself here 4 times what gives me 12? Yes, 4 times 3 gives me 12, right? Okay, طيب. So 3 is the quotient or the answer. تعالوا نكتبها يبقى 3 is the quotient or the answer. طيب هو أنا كده خلصت؟ No, if you are going to write the quotient in the equation it will look like the following 3. طيب أنا دلوقتي جبت الانسر. This is only the answer? No. Here Selim share only 12 pies out of 15. يبقى أنا عندي remainder كام؟ فاضل قد إيه؟ هو كده 4 times 3 12. يبقى فاضل قد إيه؟ Yes. يبقى I have 3 remainders. يبقى I have 3 remainders. So the remainder will be 3. Okay. Now يبقى he can't divide 15 among 4 persons equally. Okay? So he will divide the 15 divided by 4. The answer is 3. يعني كل واحد هياخد 3 وهلاقي عندي remainder another 3. So after exploring the terms that represent the numbers in each division equation, let's use now the division in one of the real life situations we could face in the activity, getting to Zamalek on page 301. Okay, now this is the activity. Here in the situation we have need to get 32 people to their event in Zamalek. في 32 people عايزين يروحوا الإيفنت in the Zamalek, which is a famous suburb in Cairo. طبعا زمالك دي حتة معروفة قوي في كايرو. Now we need to know how many people each form of transportation can take. هياخدوا أنه نوع من الترانسبورتيشن. Note that the table informs us. التيبل اللي عندنا ده بيورينا إن الميكروباص carries 9 people at a time. ميكروباص بياخد 9 people each time. والموتور بايك carries only 2 people. الموتور بايك بتاخد بس 2 people. والكار carries 4 people. الكار كل مرة بتاخد 4 people. Okay. والفان it takes 7 people each time. Now we are asked to write a group of division equations and write their solutions on the table find here in your book. طيب, put in your mind that when we write the remainders of the problems next to the quotient. يعني لما يكون عندي remainder بكتبه جنب الانسر على طول. Also, you can use drawing. اللي عايز يستخدم drawing, you can do drawing when thinking of the solution to the problem. And surely you know the number of people we need to distribute. اللي عايزة أوزع عليهم the various forms of transportation. So, 32 is the dividend in all the equations. In the first equation, we will use the microbus that carries 9 people at a time. أول حاجة هستخدمها الميكروباص. Of course, we will divide 32 divided by 9, right? 32 اللي هو number of all people divided by 9. Let's write the equation together as you see here. يلا write it with me. You will think about whether. طيب لازم أفكر الأول هي 32 multiple of 9 ولا لأ؟ Yes, think كده. هي 32 multiple of 9 يعني 32 موجودة في table 9. Of course not. Why? Because there is no number هعمله times 9 gives me 32. يعني 9 times no number gives me 32. يبقى 32 not multiple of 9. طيب تعالوا نشوف كده number تاني. number هعمله times 9 get us number closer to 32 في نفس الوقت less than 32. تعالوا نفكر كده مع بعض. Okay. when I multiply 9 times 1 مش 9 times 1 gives me 9. تعالوا نكتبها كده 9 times 1 gives me 9. 9 times 2 gives me 18, right? 9 times 3 gives me 27. What else? 9 times 4 gives me 36. Oh, 36 is bigger than 32. يبقى طبعا مش هينفع اختارها خالص. So I will choose the multiple of 9 which is 27. طيب يبقى this is the closest number ل 32 وفي نفس الوقت less than 32. يبقى 32 divided by 9 equals what? Yes, 32 divided by 9 equals 3. Right? هي مش 9 times 3 gives me 27. Okay, يبقى 9 times 3 gives me 27. Then the remainder is what? أنا عندي هنا what is the difference between 32 and 27? Yes, the remainder will be 5 people. يبقى I should write remainder 5. So the number of microbuses will be what? Yes, 3 and one more, so they will be 4. 3 of them will be full of people, لكن الفورث will have 5 people only اللي هم remainder. يبقى أنا عندي 3 microbuses كلهم full of people، والمايكروباص الفورث one هيبقى معاه 5 بس اللي هم remainder. And now let's see how many motorbikes can take برضو 32 people. طيب احنا قلنا ان السنجل motorbike takes 2 people. يبقى هعمل ايه؟ Of course I will divide the number of people اللي هو 32 divided by 2. Right? So here as you see this is my equation اللي هي 32 divided by 2. طيب كلنا عارفين ان 32 is an even number. So it must be multiple of 2. طيب يعني ايه 32 divided by 2? It means that dividing the number into half. هو نص 32. Half the 32 is what? Half the 32 is 16. So 32 divided by 2 equals 16. طيب يبقى number of motorbikes عندي is 16 motorbikes. And here I don't have any remainder. As for the cars, they can only take 4 people. زي ما احنا شايفين الcar can take 4 people. So I will divide 32 people divided by 4. تعالوا نعملها. 32 divided by 4 equals what? هسأل نفسي هي 32 multiple of 4? Yes. So what? 4 times what gives me 32? Yes. Who can tell me? 4 times what equals 32? Think of timetable 4. You will find that 4 times 8 gives me 32. So the answer is 8. 4 times 8, 32, and I don't have any remainder. Okay, so the number of cars needed is 8 cars. In the same way, we will find the equation for the van, which takes 7 people. هعمل إيه؟ The same way, I will write together on the table that 32 divided by 7. تعالوا كده نعمل 32 divided by 7. Okay. Think of a number. هي 7 times what gives me 32? طيب, do you find any number? هي 7 times number هتديني 32? No. طيب, يبقى أنا محتاجة أشوف أقرب number multiple of 7 closer to 32 at the same time number less than 32. Yes, I know that 28 is in table 7 أو multiple of 7 وكمان 28 دي less than 32. So 7 times what gives me 28? Of course 7 times 4 gives me 28. بس النمبر اللي عندي 32. So I have how many remainders? هو difference between 32 and 28 what? Yes, 4. So the remainder here will be also 4. طب ده معناه ايه؟ ده معناه that I will need 5 vans. 4 of them will be full of people. 4 of them full of people. والfifth van هيبقى فيها remainder اللي هم 4 people only. طيب the question in the activity asks us to determine أحدد the form of transportation the group should take. أصلاً السؤال كان عايزني أحدد أنه transportation الجروب هيوصل بيه. طيب Some of my students choose the microbus. طيب ليه اختاروا الميكروباص؟ Because it is the form of transportation that requires the least number of vessels. Okay? أقل عدد في الميكروباص 3 only. طيب في students تانيين قالوا لي that they wanted the form of transportation that takes equal number of people. مين اللي بياخد equal number of people؟ Yes, as you can see here is the car, right? الcar, here I have 8 cars. So in the same way, بنفس الطريقة, you can think of the problem found in your school books in the Connect part, page 302. Here's page 302, and this is the Connect part. In the activity, going to a swim meet. Let's see this activity. So, we want here to find the number of buses the students can use to take them to the swim meet. عايزة أشوف عدد الباصز هيبقى كام. If there are 60 students and a single bus can take 40 students. كل باص هياخد 40 students. Now I'll give you some time to think and write the division equation in your school book, and we will review it when we get back before we head to the practice part. And after thinking about the previous problem, let's review together how we can write the division equation. تعالوا نشوف بقى هنكتب ال division equation ازاي. Yes, I will divide the 60 students, all the students, by the number of buses that take 40 students. ليه؟ عشان to find the number of buses. تعالوا نعمل كده 60 divided by 40 عشان أنا عايز أعرف the number of buses, how many buses. طيب, let's write the equation like you see here. Because we don't know the number that when I multiplied by 40 to get 60, هعمل إيه؟ طيب, think. 1 bus 1 multiplied by 40 equals what? 40. عشان لو عملت 40 times 1 gives me 40. So 1 bus won't be enough. يبقى الباص الواحد مش هيكفي النمبر بتاع ال students. If we are going to use 2 buses, I will multiply 2 times 40 equals 80. طب ده معناه ايه؟ ده معناه ان ال 2 buses will be enough. فعلا هيكفي النمبر of students. وكمان هيبقى في empty seats on the second bus. يبقى في باص منهم هيبقى full bus of people, والsecond bus هيبقى في empty places. So the answer of the equation is only 1. بس كده؟ No, of course I have remainder. طيب الريميندر بتاعي كام؟ مش أنا قلت 1 times 40 gives me 40. يبقى remainder بتاعي كام؟ difference between 60 and 40 equals what? remainder بتاعي هيبقى 20 students. So the answer is 1 and remainder 20. Now we can head over to the practice part, which consists of 3 problems. I will give you now some time to answer the first problem on your own way, and we'll review the answer together when we get back. And now let's review our answers and continue with the practice part. Here the equation we have in problem number 1 is 35 divided by 6. طيب تعالوا بقى نفكر about whether is 35 دي multiple of 6 or no. هي 35 multiple of 6. is 35 موجودة في table 6? Of course no. So we need to think of a multiple. أنا محتاجة دلوقتي أشوف multiple of 6 which is less than 35. طيب which number? Yes, if you think, you will find that 30 is the closest multiple of 35 وكمان 30 less than 35. So ask yourself, هي 6 times what gives me 30? Yes, 6 times 5 gives me 30. طيب بس أنا الأنسر بتاعي here أو النمبر بتاعي is 35 and not 30. So the remainder is what? What difference between 35 and 30? Of course, the remainder is only 5. يبقى here I must write the remainder is 5. So the answer or the quotient 5 and the remainder is also 5. Now let's move to problem number 2. problem number 2 here, he's asking me هي 22 divided 6 equals what? طيب تعالوا نسأل أول نفسنا، هو 22 multiple of 6؟ Of course no, 22 not multiple of 6. طيب يبقى عايزة أفكر في number multiple of 6 وكمان في نفس الوقت less than 22. Let's think كده all together. Yes, I found that 18 multiple of 6 وكمان less than 22. So ask yourself, هي 6 times what gives me 18? Of course, 6 times 3 gives me 18. طيب أنا عندي هنا number 22. So the remainder is what? What is the difference between 22 and 18? Yes, so the answer is 3 and the remainder is 4. Now let's move to problem number 3. Problem number 3 here, as you see it, about story problem. That says there are 48 mugs need to be put in boxes and shipped. أنا عندي 48 mugs need to be put in boxes. 5 mugs can fit in each box. كل box ممكن تاخد 5 mugs. So, الquestion بيقول لي إيه؟ How many boxes will be needed to ship the mugs؟ يبقى أنا كده محتاجة how many boxes؟ طيب أول حاجة هعملها I want to divide or distribute ال 48 mugs among the boxes, right? So let's write the equation. يبقى هعمل 48 divided by what? Divided by 5 boxes, right? We also need to think about هي ال 48 multiple of 5 ولا no? Of course 48 is not multiple of 5. احنا عارفين multiples of 5 كلها لازم يكون ال last digit أو ال ones place يا إما 0 يا إما 5 و 48 مش 0 ولا 5 so it is not multiple of 5. So هعمل إيه؟ Yes هفكر في number when I multiplied by 5 هيديني number closer than 48 and less than it. أقرب number ل 48 وموجود في table 5 is what? Yes is 45. So ask yourself هي 5 times what gives me 45? كلنا عارفين طبعا إن 5 times 9 gives me 45. So I have a remainder is what here? The number is 48. We know that 5 times 9, 45. The difference between 48 and 45 is what? Yes, 3. So the remainder here is 3. So this is the number of boxes we will need is 10 and 9 of them هحتاج 10 boxes. 9 of them will be full with the last box أو ال 10th box هيبقى معاها أو عندها 3 mugs only اللي هما remainder. And now being so, we have explored in today's lesson some new concepts in division, including the dividend, the divisor, the quotient, and the remainder. Now let's summarize all what we took today. We have assured that division and multiplication are reversed operations, عكس بعض, and that our knowledge of the multiplication facts we have learned in primary 3 really helps us to identify the quotient and whether there are a remainder in the problem or not. If you want to practice more problems, you can scan the code in front of you, which will direct you to more and more problems to check your understanding of the lesson. Thank you so much for your watching and see you next lesson.